Yo, so let's talk about this. I got a question. Another question, right? So it's a song. I was wondering, I was like, man, I literally just fucking looked it up, man. Um, I was like, man, what the fuck is this munch shit? You know what I'm saying? I was like, what is this shit? You know what I mean? Motherfucking, I looked it up and motherfucking, it says a dude that basically only gets to go down on the broad and, you know what I'm saying, like, she don't do nothing in return because he's a sucker, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, it's funny to think about this, right? Like, this being called out because, I wonder, and this being called out, and so many people making all these videos with it, all these broads making all these videos with the shit, and um, calling niggas this and this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying, and labeling motherfuckers as this. So, what I wonder when I think about like what this could produce, right? So, nobody wants to be referred to or seen as like a simp or like a nigga that just get motherfucked that just come through and you just being used. Like, broads ain't like that shit when dudes did that shit. And I understand this whole like do unto others thing and blah blah blah, but like real life, do unto others how you would want to be treated. But anyways, because how does that translate? Well, how much noggin you giving up? So, um, what do women think, or the broads that saying this shit think is gonna happen if they keep talking about just the fact that, because what happens is this, right? Things change. So I understand the definition being that he can only do this, he gets nothing in return. But doing this, eating pussy. You know what I'm saying? So if in avoidance of motherfucking not being considered that, what could be the consequences? Like, in order to not be a munch, like, how do you think that might, the genuineness that might translate in your interactions with a dude, and, how that might translate the dudes being, like, overly forward to, like, make sure that they're not the munch, even if they're willing to motherfucking go down on that jump, that instead of, like, naturally feeling like, man, I'm with this jump, trying to make sure she feel good. Let me go ahead and get down that jump. Like, you know what I mean? Which I feel like as a lady you'd appreciate. But nigga don't want to be seen as a munch. So instead of that, like, you know what I mean? Like, nigga geeking, like, trying to get you to motherfucker hurry up and get on his man and shit. And you don't like that shit. And then you walk away from that transaction like, oh, he just cares about himself. Da da da. All of us are supposed to care about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is a lot of times what we have, well, our perception, the perception that others have of us is important. As much as people want to act like, oh, don't care what people think and I don't care what people think, acting like you don't care what people think shows that you care what people think. You know what I'm saying? You're just trying to translate it a different way. But that shows it. Because if you have the thought that you're doing this because you don't care what people think, you are thinking about what people think. So, motherfucking, so, motherfucking, I think about it and I think about a transition from general, like, a desire to just please a woman. Personally, I feel like in this situation, in that situation, like, if we're both not there trying to make each other feel good, I don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's why we there. You know what I'm saying? Like, on some real life shit, I could be doing anything the fuck else. I'm trying to enjoy this, you know what I'm saying? And a part of enjoying this for me is you enjoying it, and part of you enjoying it, I would hope, would be me enjoying it. So that's where we should be. It's already a scary and you know, uncomfortable thing sometimes because you gotta take clothes off. Who the fuck sees you naked? You know what I'm saying? Like, da da da. You gotta hide the shit that is guarded, that is kept under wraps, like, it's exposed, it's vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And why bring more to that? You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit, like, that's a genuine expression of, like, to me, a genuine expression of like safety and security, depending on who you with. But at the least, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's that moment to like let everything else not exist and this be that. It's like a moving meditation. You know what I'm saying? If you focus on it and you're present there, it's like yoga. Fucking can be like yoga if your mind is where it should be, which is where you should be, which is where you at. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, if niggas don't want to be munches because all these songs and all these bras and da 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 da, and they hearing this shit, even if it's a broad that's with a dude that she wants and enjoys and appreciates that nigga going down on that jump, but yet online she's talking all this munch shit, munch shit, munch shit. Watch that nigga stop eating that motherfucking pussy. Watch that nigga stop going down on that motherfucker. And then you gonna be talking about, oh, he never da-da-da. He only cares about himself. Motherfucker, you shouldn't have called every nigga out there a fucking munch. Cause now, this nigga don't feel secure. This nigga don't feel safe. Now he got other shit to worry about. Home ain't peace. He don't want to be a fucking munch. You know what I'm saying? He wants to take care of you. He wants to treat you right. He wants to make you feel like the woman that he's with, because he could be with any woman in the world, but he's with you. So why the fuck would you make him uncomfortable in his choices? On the other side of that too, but I'm talking about this. So what do you think is going to happen from putting these labels on people? What do you think happens from putting these labels on people? You know what I'm saying? How do you think that translates? And the result that you get from it right now, this immediate sense of gratification of downgrading niggas because you feel downgraded or you've seen somebody get downgraded, and it's not that it's right that it happened, that niggas did it. You know what I'm saying? But on some real life shit, just doing because somebody else did it doesn't make it right. And it doesn't mean that it's going to have a good effect on you. And it doesn't mean that that effect won't be long lasting and spread further than you think. I think that if you genuinely want a connection with somebody, you don't need to be participating in the things that degrade and put down the people and the situations that you say that you want. And that includes calling niggas munches.